Welcome. This is FishEZ. We are looking at some beautiful new fish in the fish room. I'm sure you might find this little okay. 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 Hello. Trying it again. In. Okay. I don't know if this will hold. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello. Oh, this is the longest I've been online. Yay, yes. Thank you very much for your patience. Let me put in my sound. I didn't even have my sound going. In the meantime, let's see if this doesn't crash. It's been crashing on me. Okay, let you see something. I'm gonna go get the sound. Okay. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on a Friday night. It is FishEZ Friday, and we are looking at some very interesting fish. These are individual fish that have come into the fish room this week only because we picked some up at the Expo. Now, the red, not red, but the white clouds that you see here are particularly interesting because I've never had white clouds before. Heard a lot about them, seen them for years, always knew about them. But these are a gold morph. They're very attractive. I don't know if you can see it, get a good shot of them. It looks kind of bluish in the phone. Anyway, mountain minnows. Yes, the gold form, which makes them, I don't know, particularly attractive. I picked up a good number of them. Actually, I took some to the local club auction and also sold some in the auction, but kept there's still quite a few left for me to work with, and I didn't think they looked that good when I first got them, so I again put in some quarantine methodology. Number one, I put microbe lift into the tank because their fins were kind of like battered and torn, and I don't know, they just didn't look good, the fins. So that stuff does a very good number. And then what you see here is a bunch of neons. These neons, we had them at the Expo in Canada Expo in Mississauga, but they didn't sell as well as the Cardinals. Cardinals always seem to sell better, and the Cardinals were bigger and nicer looking. These were just a little too small. But if you look really close, you'll be able to tell what kind of do I get fish wholesale? Yes, yes, but we are wholesale. So I mean, I sell fish to the stores, and so what we breed is, wholesale fish. So I have a what we would say a affiliate that imports fish from Peru, and I'm able to get these in larger numbers for a very, very good price. And then I sell them in the stores and other places as well. So, for example, these neons, we got them for the expo. The expo's over with, and we'll do something. Yeah, you don't go out and buy this many fish and pay retail. Yeah. Well, actually, that's what happened with the white clouds. It's an exception. The guy was at the expo and he had a ton of them. He brought them in from somewhere, and what I did was I says, "Oh yeah, I'll take 20." and he gave me a price of like, I don't know, $15. He's like, he gave me a real cut deal price. I don't know what he paid for. It must have been cents. So I says, okay. And so then he takes his net and he scoops out. I tell you, he must have given me 50. I just can't believe how many he scooped up. I think he was just trying to move them. So I ended up with these extra ones. So I'm going to sell off some of them and then keep a few for myself and see how easy they are to breed, because I heard they're super easy. But the neons, if you look really close, you'll see that I was kind of fooled. I thought they were neons, but they are not. They are not the neons. Yes, Red Laser. I got them from Dan across the aisle. He had them, and he just scooped them up and gave them to me. He says, "Oh, he saw my badge and said, "Oh, you're a exhibitor also," and so he just, I don't know, maybe that's why. Then when he left behind a couple fish. This one here, you can see, is a lone. I was the last one out of the expo because we took so long to dismantle, but you see that there's a lone roseline shark, just a young one, baby, and it's all by itself. It was in the tank after he left, and so they were dismantling the tank and say, "Oh, there's a couple of fish still in there," so they grab a bag and put it in. I think Chris Biggs saw them and saved them, and I don't know, gave them to me. It's like sort of a fish rescue. So that's how I ended up with that one roseline shark. It's just a little guy, see? I saw some roseline sharks, small ones, at a very, very good price at Fanatics today. I was down there at Fanatics on Mississauga, and he doesn't usually get them that small. I think that's why it was such a cheap price. But these neons are the green neons. Green neons. And the green neons, you can always tell right away that they're green neons. They're a little smaller than the regular neons. I find that the green neons are kind of, I find them to be shaped better than the domesticated neon variety, which kind of has a, I don't know, they kind of have a, I want to say, forgive me for the misuse of the term, but bent spine look. To me, they just have that look, and I think it's where they're red. These are probably wild caught because the green neons are not bred in captivity as much as the others. But notice the easy way to tell these green neons is that they basically go from the blue-green stripe goes from head to tail all the way. Even in cardinals, you'll see that the stripe doesn't go that far. So I'll show you some cardinals. Let's take a look at our cardinals. They're nice, but look at the blue stripe. It doesn't go all the way to the tail. It goes to the antipose fin behind the dorsal fin. See that? So that's the difference. This cardinal, and of course the cardinal has red all the way from head to tail. Hello, Fish Donkey. HHD, everybody's here tonight. Well, this was kind of a surprise live stream because, in a sense, because I was surprised I couldn't get on. I had to update YouTube, which I didn't realize there was an update. I had to then reboot after I updated, and then I got going. But you guys all kept everything going, so thank you. Who else is on? David is there. Thank you, David, for your questions. Go with the flow. Sandy. Sandy, it was so nice to meet you at the Expo last week. And I know you picked up some fish, and I can't remember which ones you got. I think you got some Lucipinus. Yeah, that was nice. Get those going. And what else? Okay. So this tank here is kind of like a quarantine tank for now. It's just kind of holding these fish. Another little trick I use is I immediately start feeding them live foods when you get fish in that haven't been eating because they've been at a fish store or something like that. They're kind of emaciated. Just get them on live food. baby brine shrimp, especially smaller fish like this, get them on baby brine shrimp right away and they will bounce like never before. And that's how you'll get them looking really sharp in a short amount of time. Moving to the left here, we've got, this tank here is our rainbow tank. As you can see, some of them are getting quite big. These are where the mops go, and we've had hatches galore. Look in the back there, you can see the little ones. There's got to be 100 fish in here. And they're made up of a couple different ones. I'm hoping to get some threadfin rainbows in here. But these big ones on the front, I think, are praycocks. And there's a few luminatus. Now, the luminatus are easy to tell apart because each one of these fish that's different. The luminatus has blue eyes. I mean, brilliant blue eyes. Let me show you one. There's one right there. See, it's kind of reddish, but it's got, if I can focus, I don't know if on the eyes. It's not stopping long enough for me to see, but yeah. But looking in the back, you'll see those tiny, tiny little fish. What those are, I don't know yet. It could all be praycocks, you know, but there's a good small handful of the luminatus, so that's a good thing. So this tank I feed, the way I used to feed these seems to work the best. I mean, yeah, I start with paramecia, I put it in the water, get some infusoria, and then I start using this. This is a powder. This is Sarah Micro, and it's a little chunkier. I also, when they're really small, first hatching, I give them Reefroids. Reefroids is actually a coral fruit. It's super fine. And so this is what I do about 3 times a day. I take the small itty bitty, I don't want to drop it, let's see here. Keep the lid off. There we go. And it's a pretty nice green. It's greenish color, and I think that's a good thing. But it also has some good floating properties. So I'll take I don't know, about this is a 1/32 scoop, so you can see it's very round. And what we're going to do is we're going to just put it on the surface. So I'll show you how I do that. I'm just going to drop it in by knocking it out of the scoop. There we go. Boom. Okay, let's see if I can show you. You can't see the surface as much as you can from below. See, there it is. That food is tossed in on the surface and it floats, and it really stays there a while, and that's where the fish are. So that's why I use the microfoods, the micro powders, because the water tension keeps the micro powder on the surface for quite a long time. Once it falls down, it's going to not be eaten because they're going to stay at the surface. Now what I did was I threw in a pleco. So somewhere in this place, I don't know if he's somewhere to be found, we got a pleco. It's a young pleco. I don't see him right now, but he's in there to mop up whatever is dropped in, and that makes it very handy. So putting in a baby and sisters works great. Next, we have a breeding project, and this tank, we're going to do this tonight. I'm just kind of anxious. The first thing to look at is these CPDs are, I think that they're raring to go, but be that as it may, it's not necessarily guaranteed. There's a couple in here that just aren't doing well, like this little tiny one in the back. You see this one way over here in the corner? That one I see is, I don't know, it's not filling out. I don't know if it's just a young male that's being harassed by the adult males, probably. If it was a female, it might have some, but there's a couple of nice round-bodied females, and these guys have been in here without any mop or anything for some time. So let's do that tonight. Let's get that going, and we're going to get some, I want to start production back up on the CPDs, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at our, oh, whoops. Well, that was smart. I just dropped the powder. I dropped the powder, and did I lose it all? Huh. All over the carpet. Well, fortunately, I have a bottle. Head up. A good reminder, always put the lid back on. Unless you're doing live streams and you just get excited and forget to do it, and then it's a valid mistake, right? That's what happens. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to get the last tank over here ready to go. I'm going to put the camera into a holder, prevent it from falling, because if the food can fall, the camera can fall. So let's see if I can. Okay, trying to get it. All right, there we go. Okay, here we are. All right, so camera is here. It seems to be a little lopsided, but oh well. I don't need this. This is for a tank above. We're gonna look at that in a few minutes, but this is our tank. It's a 5.5 gallon, and the lid hasn't been cut totally. The water system is not in yet for water flow, but we're not gonna, for this tank, we're not even gonna need that actually. I think I'm gonna take this tube off because it's just in the way. How to remove that is quite interesting, because let's see if I can put this here without losing my camera. Okay. It seems to be sliding around too much. Here we go. Huh. Okay. Is everybody there? What happened? Oh, my camera. All right, so I wanted to show you this, but it's a very tough spot. Okay, let me try doing a reverse deal. I'm going to take the lid off for now, put it behind me, set the camera on it, and see if you can watch from behind. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but okay, here we go. I'm going to use this camera, and we're going to set it up like that. Okay, here we go. That's a better view, eh? Okay, now we see what's going on here. All right. Okay, so this is the tank in question. First of all, I want to remove the fish before I start putting in the, this comes off, by the way, just by pushing in the piece here. It kind of unlocks it if you push in. Yeah, there we go. I just get that off so I can have some clearance here. Space now to work. Okay, that looks good. I want to take the fish out that really are not going to be breeding. I want to just have breeders in here, because why would you want to have fish that will only eat eggs and not contribute eggs, right? Or fertilize eggs, right? So there's two fish in here that that aren't good. So we're going to go ahead and fish those out, okay? And it's better to do it now before I put any contraption in here. Where did he go? Oh, here he is. He's up here. There we go. We'll just move him over to with the white clouds. That way he'll get brine shrimp and everything. And I think there's one more in here that I want to remove. That one looks pretty. There's also too many males. So it might be smart if I take out a couple males. What we're going to do is hurl them to the front. Take a look at what's in here. I think there's the one that is, the next one is just too small, is a female. So I'm going to leave her in because she might. But there is too many males. So I'm going to take out, I think I see one male I want. Oh, I didn't want to go. There we go. So I've taken out that male. We'll put him with the white clouds also. I actually have another tank with a few CPDs and I could probably put them over there, but if I took out, I have, looks like there's still 5 males in here. I want to get the prettiest dominant ones left in here. So let's take a look at what's left. Let me take out another one. It's just too many males. Okay. Also looking at structure of their bodies, I do want to breed nicest fish, the nicest ones that, this one's got rich colors. It's not a, they're all the males look really super in this batch, but there's just too many. So there we go. It can be a backup, right? Okay. So what I've done is reduced the tank to just what I want in here. Now we can put the trap in. So the trap is our handy dandy. It has a couple of aspects to it. I haven't used it in a 5-gallon, but this is what it looks like, and it has a, what do you call one of those? It's for like live bearers, you know, when they have babies and they fall through the slot supposedly and stuff. But this is a bottom that kind of guides the eggs. So when the eggs fall through, they're going to fall right to the where the water intake air in. It's like the water. There we go. So the water is going to come right here at the bottom, and it's going to come out, and then now I have this grill, but it needs a piece of moss, so I'm going to stick in the grill. I have found that fish can get through if you let them. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to put in the grill in such a way that there's no, I want it so that there's no places for the fish to slip through. Just have puppets get through. I don't know. There we go. Pushing it down. There we go. It's completely, this is completely in there. So there we have it. Let's see if we can get a closer look. You see the mesh, and then you have a green funnel, and then the bottom. Now, what I need to do is next find a piece of, oh, I don't know if you can see this tank next to it. Mops. Can you see it? Oh, it's too far away, but I just saw a beautiful blue eye come up to the front. And that's kind of nice. I want to get now the tube that connects on there, and I'm not even sure where that is. It was. I cleaned it anticipation, I thought I just had it. Well, we need that piece. That's the most important piece right there, is the lift tube, right? The lift tube. Where is the lift tube? I'm looking. Lift tube, where are you? Huh. Should be right here. It was right here. Maybe it dropped on the floor. I thought it was right here. Here I'm doing this live stream so that you can see it in action. I'm putting it together and I don't have the lift tube. Oh, here it is. Yep, it was here. Okay. So the lift tube looks like this because we had used it in another tank. So the bottom piece has this horizontal tube. Air will go up in here and then straight up. It has a riser. Now this thing works with a breeder box, so as you can see, it's adjustable. But I'm not going to need it. Well, let's see how much I need. So I'm going to put it on right there. It just fits right on the bottom. And then it's going to sit in the tank like here. So actually the height is not bad at all. But the question is, I have some twisties to hold a piece of Java moss. So now we need some Java moss. Let's go get some Java moss. I'm going to take my tweezers, grab a bunch from one of the tanks. Maybe the breeder tanks here I use. Yeah, there's Java moss, tons of it in there. But we don't want too big of a piece. We don't want to overdo it. I'm just going to use this size. See, this is enough to get the fish to go for it. Maybe one more about that size. Yeah, I don't want to overdo it, but I don't want to underdo it either. Okay, so got two little pieces, and I got two twisty ties. So apparently, I was thinking about that before. So let's twist this on to the twisty. Piece of Java moss there, and as the thing sort of grows or fans out, it'll kind of get a little bushy. And then this one, oh, rats. It's on the underside. Well, how do you like that, Apple? So I'm going to have to pull it out. The twisty is on this side, so let's undo the twisty. Oh, I see. I had it like loop through. You can put the Java moss through here. You can do that. Put a piece of Java moss through there, and then tighten it up from the underside. Okay. Here we go. Okay, there. Right? There we go. We got our Java moss. That should bush out a little bit. Put this back in here. Make sure it's properly inserted. Okay. There we go. Properly inserted. And then this one. Yeah, beautiful. And there's a hole here. Fish could get under in the corner, so I'm gonna make sure the corners are good and sealed up. There we go. So that's it. that's our Java Moss, and this is our deal. And we need an air hose that will work this. Now, in this particular location, we have air hoses. Here's one. We're going to use this one. It's got a controller, so it can control the amount. But I don't need this controller because I can control it with the. There we go. Oh, yeah, I'll just control it with the stainless steel. And we're going to come under here, put it on. Okay, it's on. There you go. That's it. So let's get this in the tank and let the fish start to get accustomed to it. They're already coming up to the front of the tank. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. And then this goes into a breeder box. But you know what? I have a breeder box. I just took out of the. This is a really clean one. I soaked it in bleach and then took it out this morning of the bleach bucket. And so we'll use this one on the front of the tank. Can you see that? Yep. And oh, it fell down, didn't it? Okay, you guys saw that happen, but I didn't. Okay, now we're gonna put it in place. All right, there we go. Boom. Now, from what I can see, that's all I need to do. I don't think the fish. They can get underneath here. If you can see down below the box, the glass box and everything, they can get down below there. But then it won't matter because they're not going to spawn unless they like to spawn. I'm going to take this. This is a skewer you get at the dollar store. It's just a bamboo skewer. I'm going to just kind of work the Java Moss tiny bit to get a little more fluffy. I guess fluffy is the right word. I don't know. You know what I mean. Just kind of get the fish to want to get the leaves kind of sticking out because it's tied down. There we go. And now the fish have to go inside the box. So I'm going to collect most of the eggs if there's any laid on that Java Moss. I don't think they're going to go bother with that plastic plant in the back. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I really don't. So let's go ahead and fill this with water. And the reason I usually fill it with water is because I have if I just start pumping the water in, that's fine, but then it lowers the water in the tank. So let's go ahead so it doesn't use tank water to do the filling. I'm going to just put water. There we go, it's full. And I'm going to put this is a piece of, it's the cut off end of an intake filter, intake sponge. And it fits perfect as a weir. I dampened it with the hose water so that it would be easily go through. And let's just give it a try. Let's give that a try. Turn on the air. See if we got anything. There it goes. Okay, good amount of lift. So now we've got it running and we just leave it like this. I can get a cap. We'll put a cap on it, and also we're going to use a secret weapon. Now you know what the secret weapon is because those of you who have been members of this channel for some time know about the secret weapons that we use. And here we go. Now we just wait for the babies to appear. The eggs and the babies will appear. And who knows, once those little guys, in the back kind of get used to this thing on the front of their tank, they'll go after it crazy like. But while we're waiting for them to get accustomed, I'm going to throw in the secret weapon. Let's go take a look. Hi everyone. Thank you for joining us on FishEZ Friday. And what we're going to do is take a look at something that's been brewing. Here it is. Live food, and as you can see, this particular, I don't know how, but this particular jar of Daphnia magna is got, I don't know why it's just going crazy. Absolutely crazy. I put in, this morning I put in some, I usually do green water most of the time. So what I'll do is drop the water from here to here. That's 2 liters, and then siphon out that much water, and then of course filter out the Daphne at the same time. But then I will also refill with just pure green water, 2 liters back. So they're getting water changes, and they're getting green water, and I threw in some yeast and spirulina, and oof, I tell you. Now, last week, I packaged up a number of bags for the Expo, and every one of them sold, except for the one that I didn't see. It was still in the bag, and I thought we were out. I could have sold it, but the Daphnia starter kits were sold. Here is the one that didn't sell, because it got, I don't know, got hidden away. Now, you're wondering why I still have it in the bag. This was the bag. It's sealed. I put a double seal on it, so as you can see, it's a Ziploc, but it also has a seal. It's sealed up tight because I don't want the Ziploc to leak. So this is a test. So I did this last Friday, and these guys have been in here since last Friday, and they're still alive. I'm going to leave them in there. I want to see how long they can live, because this is what I'm going to be shipping for those who order live Daphnia from my website, aquarium.biz. And if you get the Daphnia ordered from there, I want to make sure it arrives. Sometimes the postage, it may take a week, but it's been a week and they're still fine and in the dark or whatever. It doesn't matter. So that's a test. Anyway, back to our secret weapon. We're going to now feed those CPDs some live food. I have been giving them baby brine shrimp, and now I'm going to give them some Daphnia. That crustacean, freshwater crustacean Daphnia will give some good, it's good for the females to make eggs. So let's see, how would I do that? I'm going to take, I can just siphon it out, I guess. You know, I have you know what I can do is I have this scoop. Let me try this scoop. This is actually for straining. Let's give this a try. I'm just going to try. I haven't used it. I have a Daphnia net, but why not just do it like this? Boom. Yeah. There you go, Daphnia. But I don't want green water in there. I'm just gonna rinse it slightly because I don't want that. I just rinsed it, so I don't want green water to take over my breeding tank. That can happen, but normally it doesn't. I've never had it happen, but I know the possibility is. So let's go ahead and rinse this in here. You can see the Daphnia going in. There you go. One of the reasons I love to have Daphne on hand as a live food for breeders is you can put it in the tank, and if they don't eat it right away, it's no worries. They will not die. They'll just live in the tank until they are eaten. Let's see what happens. See if the fish come out. Way in the back there, I see some. I don't know if I can zoom in, but there they are. See if they go. Oh, there's a Daphne. I lost the focus. It's kind of hard. But anyway, this is our setup. Let's zoom out a little bit. So this is where we're at. We've got a hang on the back. Well, this is a breeder box, not hang on the back. Hang on the front, I guess. So we put in the reason for this kind of weir is because the babies and eggs, when they start hatching, they'll be very small. They could easily go over and back into the tank, and I don't want that. We're using this box, which is a Penthouse guppy breeder box, and it came with 2 pieces. I'm just using the main piece, and that's it. It's a continuous cycle. So in the morning, if they decide they want to spawn, I'll get eggs. Sorry about that, I sneezed. Did anybody hear me sneeze? I'm just curious if the button on my phone actually muted the sneeze. Or did I sneeze in everybody's ears? Because I'm using a remote mic. Anybody here sneeze? So that'll do it. Oh, thank you, Red Laser, for posting our website. That is the fiberglass. So yeah, the fiberglass barbecue grill. That's what that netting is. It's sort of nice to be able to cut it to shape. It's fiberglass, so you just cut it with a scissors. It's not metal, not metallic, but it holds its. Just to give you an idea, here is the same stuff. We're using it for. Can I zoom it out? I zoomed in and now I can't get out. Hold on. Let's see if I can. Okay. There we go. So here's the same stuff. This tank here is in fact a breeder tank. We were using the spikes for. These are the upside down spikes that you buy at the dollar store. Works pretty good. I kind of like it because it raises it off the bottom quite a bit. You can see fish underneath. Here's again, you can also use something a little lower. In this case, I'm using something a little lower. But this one's ready. This one's ready to use. And this one, we have a spawn. I don't know. Let me turn off the fan. It's probably interfering with my mic. Okay. This tank has a bunch of fry in it. We were able to get a very successful spawn finally. And they're at a size where I was thinking of actually trying something new. I'm going to try removing them from this tank so I can use the tank for a new spawn. Because we have some spawns we want to try, and we're going to be doing some breeding of some fish that we haven't done yet. We're going to add. I think rummy nose. I think is probably the next one. But at any rate, this is a good batch of ruby barbs. Black ruby barbs, and we got a good amount. So when I see like 60 fish, anywhere from 60 to 100 fish, I'm happy. That's a good batch because I can sell off the whole batch wholesale to people and those who want a nice size group. Now, for example, tiger barbs, we did our green tiger barbs. Now the green tiger barbs, they're in here with the mascara barbs. There's a few Odessas left over. Let's see here. Let's take a look here. So here's some black rubies. These are the male black rubies. These guys, they know it's dinner time. It's like for dinner they get a treat. I usually feed them in the morning. They're green veggie pellets, but I'm going to give them a treat tonight. They're going to play rugby. I'm going to give them this. Some cubes. I have a ruby. We're going to give them one of these cubes, and I just throw it in the tank, and they play rugby with it. Look at them. See, it's not fixed, so they go pushing it around and have a great time. It keeps them occupied. Look at that. They go all over the tank. And the catfish start coming up. The petricola start coming up. Now, the tiger barbs at first were not hand tamed. They were not hand fed before, so we're going to go ahead and give them also one of these. But look now, it only took a few times, and the tiger barbs eat right out of my hand. The mascara barbs eat out of my hand too, and they're a skittish fish, and they're very flighty. But they've learned to eat out of my hands. The cichlids, the macula pinus that are in this tank, have not eaten out of my hand before. They're so cautious, and they don't usually come up high. They stay low in the water level near the bottom. But this is fun. This is always a fun thing to do. To feed your fish right out of your hand. They come up and they pick your skin, and they just go crazy. The Odessas are trained. The green tiger barbs are, and now, well, right now the mascaras are probably more skittish about my phone. I went too close, but when I back it off, notice they come right up and rip the worms right out of my fingers. They're very powerful. That's their treat. Gone. That cube is gone. But those are the tiger barbs. So I feed them just a snack, one of the snacks, and while I'm here, I'll show you the progress. These are the Apistogramma McMasteri, the red-shouldered gold mutation. Gorgeous fish. They're doing very well. A little camera shy. So what's that? What's that? And there's one. You see one Apistogramma. That's one particular fish that came from a batch that was more or less had issues. All the brothers and sisters died. Remember, it was a high pH when we bred them, and they only had like 3 or 4. Well, that's the one that survived in a higher pH. And so the size was about right, so I just put them in with this tank, and it's easy to tell them apart. Here's a later batch of red-shouldered golds. Yeah. There we go. So let's see what else I wanted to show you tonight. I showed you the batch here we got going. And we'll also have a new batch of babies. Always something new in Fish Room, eh? Oh, look at this. Daphne have been sucked up into now they're in the breeder box. Well, it's okay. I can siphon those out and get them out. It's so easy to do. Actually, there's no what I could do. I wonder if I just remove the weir for now. Could go back into the tank. Yeah, they will. They'll go flow right back into the tank until they get eaten. And now I'm going to set up my step stool that I need to get in order to get up to the penthouse tanks. There we go. Little step stool. Fits just between the tank racks and it's big flat platform. Very important to have that steadiness. You don't want to be up high. So what we have up here is the penthouse tanks, and this is a pair of pistogramma. We're looking at a pistogramma panduros. This pair is the parents to these fry here. There's about 12 in here, and they're going to be removed very soon. That's what we were making. I was measuring the pH. It was 4.4. I don't know how it dropped so low. There's not even peat going in this, just some leaves. So I need to do some water changes before I move them. And over here is the new batch of fry. Pair number 2, that is Panduro pair number 2, has fry all over the place. And what we have found is that they will start disappearing when mom and dad want to start having another set of babies. So they're at the age now that this weekend I will go ahead and move the parents. It's easier since I have a tank right here. This tank I will use and just match the pH, and then we'll just move the parents over, and then I'll raise these fry in this tank for another number of weeks. It's a good number. I can see them now. I see more now than I ever thought was in here. I didn't think it was that big of a batch. Histogramma panduros. Okay, and behind me are the cordyceps. See how they're doing. They're always super camera shy. There's one underneath. You see it in the reflection. It's underneath the wood. Always keep my eye out. If they do lay eggs, from that pair I'll probably pull the eggs. This pair definitely eats the eggs, so I gotta really watch them. But I've not been successful. Only successful at getting eggs eaten up on this pair. They never raised their fry, whereas the other pair does. And then we have our beautiful redfin rainbows, 3 females and 1 male, which is doing great. If you're online, Roman, thank you very much. And over here, a pair of subocellatus, the ocellatus crevensis. Really, they've not laid or raised any babies. I have not been successful with this pair, but they are the only pair that hasn't gone crazy. The other 2 pairs went crazy and ballistic, and the males chased the females into the corner. But this pair is like lovey-dovey to one another. So I have great hopes that one day they're gonna lay. Down here are pistogramma panduros, pair number 1. On their batch number 3. Batch number 2 is only 1 fish. We just talked about him. But look at this. We got a good number of them in here. And these could probably be moved too. But I don't need the tank right yet because the parents have been moved over here some weeks ago. And so here's the male. Here's the daddy. Prize pair. He is really good dad, and mom too. They never have issues, never babies for each other. So I don't see the female. She may be on eggs now. I'm expecting it any week. And then once these guys have the fry and start growing them and they get big enough like the ones we were looking at earlier, I'll just move the parents back into this tank. But by then I'll have these guys removed. Yeah, I'm going to start moving the pistogrammas to grow out tanks. Yeah, so that's the fish room. And by the way, I was able to pick up something at the Expo that kind of was just a quick purchase. What do you call it? A impulse buy. It was a small tank that, as you can see here, it's just all glass. It does have a black bottom, kind of nice. And if you want to know what I'm going to use this for, it's kind of small. Take a guess. I have one that's bigger. A couple of them down here. I might move pistogrammas in here to grow out the small ones that we were just looking at. Maybe they'll fit in a tank this size. Right now, these are future breeders. These are ones we're not going to sell because we need to have backups. You never know. So backups for our breeding program. But this one, what do you think I'm going to use this for? It's kind of small. You might be able to stick a bed in there. Any ideas? Any takers? Hint. It's got nice clear flat glass. Good for doing what? Everybody's thinking too hard. Well, the answer is, this is what I use for putting fish into for selection. So if you have a bunch of fish, like let's say for example, a batch of fry, like photo shoots, if you want to take photos, you could do that, but usually when you move fish, they kind of lose their color, so that's not the most ideal unless you were to have the fish in there for some time. Now, a photo one usually has a small piece of glass. This trick I learned the other day. I didn't know this, but a lot of times they have a tank with a piece of glass that goes across like right here. And so you put the fish in the slot and that holds them flat. And that's how they get the picture. You always get nice pictures that way. And then a little background and plants and stuff. You don't see the glass behind them. That was how they shoot photos. I thought that was interesting. Anyway. But yeah, let's say for example, I take a scoop of tiger barbs. And so I'll just take a big scoop, put them in here, and I'm picking out maybe 10 for myself. I'm looking at the fins. I'm looking for the reddest fins. And then I'll use this for sorting and picking out. And I can set it right here at eye level. This is eye level, and I get a good view of them. And then easy to scoop out, but it's not so big you can't catch the fish. And at the same time, it's not too small. You can put a good number of fish in there at the same time, and then use a small net. Now I use small nets. I have a variety of sizes, but one of the nets I use, let me see, I'll pull it out. Here's I think this one here is this one is like a standard. I use this one quite a bit. It's not a 4-inch, it's more like a, let me see what it is. Yeah, here it is, okay. So here, let's see what this one is. I use this one quite a bit because my tanks are small, right? So this one's a 4. Oh, this one's the 4-inch. For some reason I thought my white one was the 4-inch. That one's a 4-inch. My white one, which I use extensively, which I don't see right now. What did I do with it? Huh. Okay, I don't know, but it's probably a 5-inch then, because it's just a little bigger. It has bigger holes and easy to catch fish. But this one is also a standard one I use. But as you can see, it's not very good for like trying to get into a breeder box and taking out. See, the handle's too long. So I have this special made one that is the smaller size. I know right where it is, and it's got a cutoff handle. So I keep this handy. And this one I use for just getting into the breeder box, and I could use this one for the light box, or shall we say the inspection box. I don't know what you're going to call it. Ah, look at these, more Panduros. Okay, more Panduros coming up. They look cute. I usually, with Epistogrammas, put in some black sand. They tend to like something to dig into. Okay, folks, I hope that was helpful. The last thing I wanted to show you before we end tonight is this. Finally, I discovered that I had something I can use for sending grindle worms. So, Jeff, you're probably wondering what happened to your grindle worms. I'm going to send you some. I know that the batch I sent you before didn't go through, but this device, I'm going to get this one going, and I do have an order, so I'm going to give it a try. The order is for somewhere here in Canada, so it might be faster. But look at this lid; it's got holes, and then it's got this material. Now, what this has been used or designed for is for like mealworms. So people package mealworms in something like this, but it's very airy. Unfortunately, that means it's going to dry out quicker. So I'm going to have to see if I can keep it moist. But I want to see if this will work for grindle worms. Because I'm taking these ones here, these containers, and I'm using those, but they're staying pretty moist because there is no holes. But can this be used? Good question. If every day I were to moisten it, could it be used? I'm going to try. Well, folks, this is FishEZ on Friday, and really enjoying the rapid rate. Oh yeah, fruit flies. You're right. Thank you for that little tip. I need to find them online, and so I'm going to do some search. I like to get some of those containers, give them a try if they're used for fruit flies. Yeah, but as you can see, I'm just really I didn't have them going so well before, but now the Daphne are just going to town, and I'll have to keep them going all winter long because it's can't put them outside in a pond or the barrels outside at this time of year because it's too cold, and eventually we're going to get some frozen ponds, frozen stuff. At least it's going to get too cold for the Daphne very soon. They'll start dying out and laying eggs, but they'll rebound. Oh, these guys are not so bad. I want to show you the previous batch of. This is the previous batch of black ruby barbs and checkered barbs. The checkered barbs are the ones that are shaped differently, don't have black stripes. They have more of dots. They look like they're speckled. There you go. That's better. But it's really a nice little group, but just too small. I was not happy with the amount that they produced their first time. But remember, the parents were young, and I was testing them just to see if they could reproduce, and they did. But now I'm thinking the fish are at the age where they know what they're doing now. So here we go. So full production going on here in the fish room. Black ruby barbs. They're a nice barb to have around. They're not aggressive like the They're not crazy aggressive like the tiger barb. They tend to do well, and when they really look kind of nice, I don't know. Oh, okay. The microworms. You received the microworms in one. You mean? Oh, okay. Then you bag the container. Hmm. Humidity packs like they ship cigars. Let's look into that. Okay, great ideas. Thank you, everyone, and we'll keep working at it. Look at this black ruby barb. He's gotten all red on the nose. You see how they're getting colored in the black fins? The males go in and out of this coloration. So they're kind of nice. It's been great to be with you tonight, everybody. Thank you for joining me on a FishEZ Friday. And we hit several things. I'm excited now to see 1 week from now if I don't have any CPD fry floating around. Yeah. Hopefully you didn't hear that. I don't know if it worked. Nobody told me. Or if you did, I didn't see it. Okay, so that style container. Help maintain the moisture. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I remember the mistake we made. We tried breeder bags, but then somebody pointed out to me that I guess the oxygen doesn't get through the breeder bag if it's not water on one side. That's what somebody said. So I don't know why. The principle behind a breeder bag is that when you put a fish in a breeder bag, it is able to survive without air in the bag. You don't need the air, you just have water. And the oxygen from the atmosphere goes in through the breeder bag. But you would not ever put a breeder bag in another bag and seal it up because that would suffocate, prevent the oxygen from getting in. But the breeder bag apparently needs the water in it, and you can't just put something like worm culture in a breeder bag and expect it to breathe. I think it's designed to work with water. So that's what I understood from what I was told. So I'd have to test it out more. But as you can see, I've got the Daphne in a bag from last week, and they're still doing fine. We'll see how many days they can last in the bag. And hopefully, if it's 7 days or more, I wouldn't have to overnight them. You know what I mean? Like, send Daphne through the mail on a very expensive way. It can survive in maybe a week's time. So thank you very much for joining. And tonight it was kind of a low-key night. I was busy. We're still digging out from the Expo, and we haven't quite unpacked the things that we brought home because of other obligations. But we'll eventually get everything back and running. And so we've just been real tight on time this week. But talk to you next week at the same time. I think, yes, I'll be around next week. And maybe we'll show you some of the changes that we are making at the fish house. That is the Grow Out Center. So thank you very much for just spending a few minutes putting together a breeder trap, egg trap, and also talking about some of the new fry that are in the fish room. Hope everybody had a good time tonight, and appreciate any questions that I missed. I'm sorry about that. I didn't see it. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're hoping, Jeff, that your mute works. Oh, good. We didn't hear the call. Okay, then I know it works. Okay. I do appreciate the feedback. I'm always learning something. Tonight we got a little rough start because every time I push the start button on the live stream, it would come up and then just crash, and I'd be knocked out of YouTube. So what I did to fix the problem was I went to the program installation, saw that there was an update, installed the update, and then I had to reboot the phone. And after I did that, everything worked fine tonight. So thank you very much for joining us again, and leave a thumbs up, a comment below if you're on the replay. It's much appreciated. Thank you so much. It was great to see some of you at the expo, such as Sandy and Meyer. Meyer, you were there. Meyer was there, and he did buy fish, and so did Sandy. They took advantage of our discount, special discount for YouTubers, and that's when you listen to the programs, you get special discounts and special deals, and I have a feeling those things are going to be coming down the road as well, more and more. So stay tuned, and we will be seeing you maybe next Friday at 8 o'clock-ish, and see you there. Have a good night, everyone, and keep it real.